welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to dive into this incredible story about a king who was, by all accounts, perfect. I mean, so perfect that the universe itself had to step in and take everything away from him, just to teach him one final, absolutely crucial lesson.
So let's set the scene. We're talking about King Bali. And he wasn't just some random ruler. This guy came from a truly noble and deeply spiritual family. He was the grandson of the legendary Prahlada.
In his kingdom, well, under his rule, it wasn't just doing okay. It was a literal paradise on earth. We're talking about a golden age where there was so much justice and abundance that poverty and hunger just didn't exist.
And Bali himself was right at the heart of it all. I mean, he was the picture-perfect king. He had it all: wisdom, a strong moral compass, and a generosity that was just off the charts.
So this brings us to the big mystery, right? If this guy was so perfect and doing everything right, why on earth would a divine power show up just to strip him of everything he had? That is the puzzle we are going to solve today.
To figure this out, we have to look way deeper. See, the problem wasn't something wrong with Bali's kingdom. The flaw, and this is the key, was something subtle, something hidden inside the king himself. You see, the real battle here wasn't fought with armies or for territory. It was all about a force inside the human mind, the ego. And to really get what happened to Bali, we can't just look at all his good deeds. We have to dig into the hidden reason he was doing them. Okay, now this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because ancient philosophy doesn't just see ego as one simple thing. Nope. It actually breaks it down into 3 totally different types, and each one is sneakier than the last. First up, you've got the most basic kind, the tamasic ego. This is the one we all recognize instantly. It's that loud, in-your-face, aggressive pride that's all about bullying and throwing your weight around. Then there's the next level, the rajasic ego. This is the competitive ego. It's that constant need to be better than everyone else, to always be one-upping people. It's that little voice in your head that says, oh, they donated that much? Well, I'm going to donate more. But King Bali's problem wasn't either of those obvious types of pride. His flaw was way more subtle, a kind of ego that actually pretends to be a virtue. It hides in plain sight. And this is it, the sattvic ego, or the ego of goodness. This is the pride of being righteous. It's a deep, personal attachment to your own goodness. It's that quiet little feeling of satisfaction you get from knowing that you are the generous one, the wise one, the good one. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous, because it feels so right. So how did this ego of goodness actually show up? Well, it all comes to a boiling point at this huge ceremony Bali is holding. Right in the middle of everything, this small, humble-looking boy named Vamana walks in. Now, you gotta remember, Bali is this incredibly wealthy king. And this little boy comes up and asks for a gift that's, well, it's almost insultingly small. He just asks for 3 steps of land. That's it. And Bali's response? Oh, it tells you everything you need to know. He pretty much laughs at the request. You can just hear his sattvic ego shouting. It's not about generosity anymore. It's a performance. He isn't interested in what the boy needs. He's focused on showing off how great and powerful he is. And that right there is the heart of the problem. His charity had become tainted. It was all being fueled by the sneaky little belief that he was the source of all this good fortune. The giving wasn't for the receiver. It was to make himself feel good about his own identity as the great provider. So, at this moment, Bali's own mentor, his guru Shukracharya, realizes what's actually going on. He recognizes that this little boy is a divine being in disguise, and he rushes to Bali, begging him, "Stop! Do not make this promise!" But Bali just can't bring himself to back down. And why? Because backing out of a promise would totally destroy the image he had of himself, the image he was so proud of as the generous king who always keeps his word. His ego had him in a trap. Now, what happens next is so important to see in the right way. This isn't a punishment. Think of it more like a divine intervention, a huge lesson delivered on a truly cosmic scale. So Vamana reveals his true form, and he expands, growing to this unbelievable cosmic size. With just one step, he covers the entire earth. With his second step, he covers the heavens and the rest of the universe. There's literally nothing left for his third step.
And it's in that moment, when Bali has lost everything he was proud of, that he finally gets it. He understands what true surrender is, and he offers the only thing left, his own head. And this is the most beautiful part of the whole lesson. That final step on his head wasn't about crushing him. It was about crushing his ego. And think about it, where does our ego live? In our minds, in our heads. It was a symbolic act of freeing him, not shaming him. So you see, by getting rid of Bali's final, hidden flaw, the divine wasn't punishing a good king, it was perfecting a great soul. It was breaking the very last chain that was holding him back from true spiritual greatness.
So let's just quickly recap the incredible lessons from this story. First, the sneakiest, most dangerous ego is the one that hides behind our best qualities. Second, real charity has nothing to do with the giver, it's selfless. And finally, what sometimes looks like a terrible loss is actually a necessary reset, a path to surrendering the self.
And the proof is right there in how the story ends. Bali's loss of all his material wealth led directly to a massive spiritual win. He wasn't cast down, he was elevated, honored, and given a celestial kingdom. It proves the whole thing was about setting him free, not about taking things away. And that leaves all of us with a final, really powerful question to think about. In which of our own good deeds, in our own greatest strengths, is our own subtle ego secretly hiding, right there in plain sight?